Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Jams and Tea Now, where we talk about pretty much whatever the hell we want in the realm of music, games, film, entertainment, whatever the hell we want to talk about. It is a roundup of all things media and art related. And today we are going to primarily be talking about 2026 and what we are looking forward to. We are looking forward to films, we're looking forward to games, we're looking forward to albums, all kinds of stuff. We have many announcements, many things that are rumored to be happening, but we do have a lot of concrete stuff, as well as some less concrete stuff that we can still talk about anyway. So we've got that on the dock, but we also do have it's January, so we're really skimming it in terms of worthwhile, huge, interesting like news and stuff in the entertainment industry. The only thing that like we can sort of quickly run by is that in the realm of film and cinema, unfortunately, the first major loss of the year has already happened upon recording this, seeing as we recently lost immortal filmmaker of insanely long movies that all of your film student friends probably pester you to watch, like Workmeister Harmonies and Satan Tango. Bela Tar has passed away, and we know if you're not a huge film nerd head, you probably don't even know who Bela Tar is, but allow our introduction here, celebrating him posthumously, to be your introduction because he is a filmmaker that everyone should at least be familiar with and look forward to watching. Satan Tango has kind of been memed in the film community for just being long movie, and it's like, sure, okay, these are very long, very dense films, but these are legendary productions that are dense, enigmatic, challenging, interesting, form challenging, in fact, kind of stuff. So if you have, if you find it in yourself to want to explore some new cinema this year, or if you just want to take the plunge, I highly recommend checking out lots of Bela Tar's films. All of my friends are in kind of collective mourning over this. It really
Oh,
does kind of suck. It feels sort of like we're rewinding it a year. It feels like, David Lynch dying, setting the entire tone for the year, which just, sucks ass, but use it as an excuse to celebrate work you might not be familiar with.
I had that feeling happen to me with rest in peace legend Rob Reiner passing away towards the end
That
of
as
the
well.
year.
That as well.
That that hurt. That hit me really hard.
Like
I was like
Reiner
just
was
watching him and he had just put out a new movie. He had just put out that Spinal Tap sequel. Like he was still working and he was like on The Bear playing a supporting character in the new season. So like
like, and he's an older dude, but he had energy.
he
Like,
wanted to
dude was not
move, like
done.
he wanted to make some moves, and it's so sad, especially like what actually happened to him
Hmm.
is insane and frightening, and we're gonna
Awful.
learn about it more probably in the developing months, and it's
Unfortunately. But like again, like I saw so many people sort of like rally around Reiner's work, and like you take a look at that run that he had in the 80s and 90s, like you don't think of like Rob Reiner, legendary filmmaker, like on the top of your head. And then you
but
look at
when
his
you
movies
sit
and you're
all those
like,
movies next to each other, he's
uh,
stealthily got one of the best catalogs of
like
anybody working in that era, right?
and
Spinal Tap, Princess
Stand By
Bride,
Me, Princess Bride,
Misery.
Harry Met Sally, like Misery, like this dude has multiple legendary films, multiple of my favorite movies of all time. Ree and I getting to watch When Harry Met Sally was actually one of my favorite rewatches that I had of a movie last year, just because I got to remind myself how wonderful that movie is and how it's just like literally peak rom-com.
To kind of mourn, I put that movie on while I was getting some work done. And holy crap, like dude is an incredibly intelligent horror filmmaker. Incredibly
Oh yeah.
intelligent filmmaker in basically every stretch. Everywhere he went, he was making intelligent moves. And like I've just been watching interview clips with him talking about a lot of his stuff in retrospect that he was doing to promote Spinal Tap 2, talking about When Harry Met Sally and talking about Misery and talking about all these like movies that genuinely define an era of popular filmmaking. If you may not realize it, but this guy is probably responsible for one of your favorite movies of the 90s. And so
100%.
it's incredibly tragic that he's gone, especially when it seemed like he was gearing himself up for a late career return to acting and filmmaking that was really enjoyable to watch. It's
Also
really
super
terrific.
enjoyable. And you said the bear also in stuff like The Wolf of Wall Street. He's like one of my favorite bit roles in that entire movie. And yeah, go use this as an excuse to go back and watch The Princess Bride, like eternal, charming banger of a film. And that's like one of the smaller things that we can mention today. Another thing kind of feeds into something we'll talk about later, so I'll just only briefly touch on it. But the rollout for the new ASAP Rocky album has officially commenced. Don't Be Dumb, which has been talked about for a long, long, long time,
It
has a
might
new
be
single
finally happening.
and a new music video starring Winona Ryder, which is just
That's
so
exactly the kind of thing that he would do, though.
it really is. Like when I heard that, I didn't even blink. I was just like, that is exactly the kind of thing that ASAP Rocky would do. The song itself is interesting. I don't know what to think of it at all, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think that I will have to reserve my judgment for when we inevitably talk about that album on this show, because this is easily going to be one of the biggest releases of the year, and I have absolutely no idea what this album is going to look or sound like. Just no idea.
I
Because
wonder
based on what we've
is
got so
that
far,
I wonder if that Taylor Swift song that he did is going to make it onto the
who
album. Who's
knows?
to say?
Honestly, like I have
We'll see.
absolutely no idea. And
I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to not knowing, just because when there are hip hop albums like this, usually if there's such buzz around it, we know whether or not everyone is going to like it or not. I have no clue with Don't Be Dumb. Like truly, this does have the potential to be year highlight record or huge stinker. Have no idea.
I
And
can't
frankly, I
wait.
just want to find out which. And now we can sort of segue into the first major segment here with the lead off, in that there has been a lot of streamer news lately. News with streamers, news with popular people, and people doing some stupid fuck shit. And I want to lead off with this by saying that the sort of something that's setting the tone for the year already being that Drake has found himself in the second legal, well, I mean, if you want to be technical about it, the third uphill battle that Drake is going to have to climb legally, being this gambling charge that is being leveled against him, as well as the guy who is at the head of the platform for which Drake uses to gamble, Adin Ross, who is also a very big streamer and has also found himself in some headlines this week. And Jen, I just know that you have some thoughts about Mr. Adin Ross and what has been happening recently, as well as how this relates to a certain Miss Doichi.
I oof, this is one of the few times, and I guess the last year of this channel in a way has been me gearing up to this moment to like stake what we do as legitimate as opposed to whatever is going on over there on Kick. I have never logged on to that website once in my life, and if I ever do, it's gonna be for a project, and if it's not for a project, check me into an institution because
I saw Red
anyway.
Rooms last year. The idea of Kick as a whole just repulses me.
So
I'm like, I'm staying far away from that shit, dude.
if you're not familiar, Kick is where you go to continue your career if you manage to get kicked off of Twitch. It is a
Hmm.
rival live streaming hosting platform that has a lot of money moving behind it. People like XQC are big on there. People like Adin Ross are big on there. I only really know who XQC is because I used to keep up with Overwatch League, but that dude is just an embarrassment of riches.
I know about people like XQC purely because the streamers that I watch make fun of each other by comparing them to XQC, and fucking like that's the entire reason I know who Asmongold is because people are just like, oh hey, your room's a little messy over there, fucking Asmongold, and I'm just like, who the fuck is that? And then I looked it up and I was like, I was better off not knowing this information, but anywho.
So Aiden Ross in particular he represents a personality type in this space that I just find absolutely insipid, which is a guy who thinks he can do anything with the least amount of effort possible and that the red carpet should just be rolled out. There's such a stank of entitlement coming off of guys like Adin Ross as people who feel like they are obligated to take up space in the culture, whose opinions on art and music and what have you should be immediately pushed to the forefront because they get a lot of views. And like Adin Ross does get a lot of views, and I'm only throwing smoke at him because he outclasses us by some magnitude. Otherwise, I would not normally like this. But I just like I feel like I have to get on record and say that guys like Aiden Ross do not care about anything except what gets them hype and what gets
No.
them money. And
God,
that
no.
means if that means continuing to go after people like Dochi, that's what he's gonna do. And so I'm not gonna like try to check him on this because people like Glasses Malone are giving him a little bit more of the some of them are
Which,
giving him the benefit of the doubt, and other ones are telling him that he needs to check himself
bro,
right now.
listening to that Glasses Malone rant was legit some of the most cathartic shit I've heard in like, because regardless of where you come down on this issue, here's how I see it. Aiden Ross is a shit talking little weasel, and Glasses Malone is like, hey, we let too many shit talking little weasels do this and get completely unchecked for their behavior. These people are denigrating black women and just we are letting them roam wild. We should tell them that they have consequences to their actions. So, frankly, if something bad happens to that dude, no fucking skin off my back because, frankly, we live in America and this country is besought with people who do the worst things imaginable and suffer zero consequences for it. And frankly, I'm fucking sick and tired of this shit. So yeah, if some streaming bozo gets the shit beaten out of him because he refuses to stop calling some poor woman who I cannot stress this enough, did not diss him. She just had an offhand line about people talking a shit about her in a new song that's great, by the way. That should not
Go
be
listen to
lost in
Girl
this
Get
whole
Up.
discussion. The new Doichi song is great. Go stream Girl Get Up is what you should take away from all of this situation. But this dude, if he gets the shit beaten out of him because he refuses to stop calling Doichi a bitch, you know what? Good. Karma's a bitch, man. What can I say? I like these fucking people, I have no sympathy for them. You're rich, you're never gonna have a problem again for a day in your life, and you still manage to make yourself a problem for people. So no, man, fuck off. Fuck off with all this shit. I don't want like this guy, this type. I completely agree with you. Is one of my least favorite types of dudes because they always lean back on the, "Oh, I'm just a guy. I'm just saying like I'm just a guy. I'm
I'm
just
just a normal
saying
guy, man. This is new media, and I'm just a normal guy, and I can do this
mhm.
now. But that's the
And
thing
I'm
too.
successful and that mean it's literally might is right but with views. And I'm just like I
Yeah,
don't care if you're a view botter or not, man. Like at this rate like you hang out with Drake. You're not an independent streamer who like gets you are the industry. You are part of the system because you are in your business partners with Drake.
you
Like
chill
what
with
the fuck,
LeBron
man?
James, dude. You
It
don't just chill with LeBron James and come out the ordinary guy that you were when you went in.
No, like,
And
and frankly, I still have more respect for people like Kai Cenat. At least the dude makes music that he seems like he fucking cares about, you know? Like, Aiden Ross makes diss tracks purely because they'll get him clicks. Like, ew, no. Like,
yeah,
fine,
and
like that's why I'm kind of glad. Like, I'm glad that we are in our little bubble on this corner of the internet where a couple people listen to us, and that's nice. And, some of our videos pop off and some of them don't, but it means we get to stay away from this.
yeah.
This.
I don't want this energy anywhere near me.
Ever.
That's the thing that I want to push as like the message of why we decided to talk about Aiden Ross, because I cannot throw better smoke at Aiden Ross than Glasses Malone. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do the thing that people do when things like this happen, which is like, see, that guy's not real. I'm the real guy. No, I'm not real. This is all bullshit. This is all performance. You don't know me. You don't know who I am.
No,
Stop it. But what I will tell you, if you're listening to this and you care about what I have to say, for some reason, uh, if you take stake in my opinion, fine. Here it is. I try to move with intention and with thought. And I hate watching guys who don't, like Adin Ross does, continue to balloon because of whatever it is that allows him momentum. Whether he's buying views, I'm not alleging that. Whether he's buying views or whether people genuinely just appreciate his vibe as whatever he is, that is not the kind of person that I am. And I don't have a lot of respect for people who move through culture like Adin Ross and like XQC. And I only really feel the need to comment on it, one, when it enters like my purview, which is music to some extent, and when I feel like I can give a bit of wisdom down after having done this for a little bit. And my wisdom that I think I can hand down after this is ignore what people like this say about art and don't get into arguments with them because they don't actually care. They know they can get clicks out of calling Doechii a bitch, and that is what they're going to continue to do. They don't care about the art. Don't think you can check them on that. Let Glasses Malone check him on disrespecting black women. I'm going to check him on disrespecting black women. But that's it. I don't care what Adin Ross actually thinks about Doechii's music because I know he doesn't think anything about Doechii's music. He
no.
doesn't care. Stop
Like
paying attention to people that don't care about what they claim to be an authority on, man.
I'm going to be a little bold here and say that if you're the type of person who in 2026 is still even using terminology like industry plant, your opinion probably shouldn't be taken seriously because industry plants as we know them are not they don't exist anymore. The way that term was invented meant something specific, not just because of like the thing that industry plant means. It's the environment that created the term industry plant. And that environment doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. Like, and here's the thing, too, at the end of the day, it's just like, even if we want to say industry plant this, industry plant that, is the music good? That literally, that is the question you need to be asking yourself. Do you think the music is good? Do you think that the people like making this music, do you think they care? And that is the shortcut to all of this is ask yourself as a person, does Adin Ross care? Does XQC care? Does so and so care? Because if you can honestly answer that question and the answer is no, just stop. Just find people who seem like they care. Don't let people decide that they're gatekeepers. You need to go to people who you like, and then they become gatekeepers because you go to them. That's how that should work now in the attention economy, which I know is a bit wishful thinking, but that's just kind of the world that we live in. And we can't keep putting dudes like this on a kind of pedestal. Like, and I'm not saying that like
I'm not
streamers.
calling for some mass exodus of Adin
No.
Ross viewers to come get in my comments because I don't want people who
Yeah.
think like that in my space. I just need them to stop having clout and stop having power. And not that Adin
Like,
Ross does have a lot of power. I mean, he's about to get sued out of oblivion for whatever power he does
hopefully.
actually have in the industry. But it's just like there's
He also
an
lost a sponsorship
economy.
with the NBA today, I believe. So,
Oof. There's an economy built around guys who just sit around and do whatever, but because people watch it, right? The direct correlation of views to money is the only thing that allows guys like Adin Ross and XQC to have an impact on the culture. And we can just ignore it most of the time. This is just one of those times that here in our space, we can't ignore this and we have to fire back a little bit.
if you're the type of person who like watches streamers and all that stuff, I think a good litmus test for whether or not you should be watching someone is literally just what opinion this does X streamer have about what they do? Because if they have all this pomp and circumstance and put themselves on a pedestal and they're just like, yeah, man, I'm a streamer because I'm a voice of the people, I feel like you can write that person's opinion off utterly and completely. And I'm not trying to devalue people who are more successful than me. If you're more successful than me, great, get that bag, whatever the fuck. I'm saying that there are plenty of streamers who get where they are, become insanely successful, and they're just like, yeah, I'm lucky and I like entertaining people. Those are probably the people that you should be watching. Those are probably the people whose opinions, like, if you have the self awareness to be like, yeah, X and Y, these different variables, I'm not exactly anything special. Like, I'm not saying like they have to be like us, but it's just like, I don't feel like we have any illusions about the fact that we're just guys who be talking about shit.
There's
Like,
just this unique blend of aimless apathy and reckless entitlement that comes off of guys like Adin Ross. And I'm just here to tell you, start figuring out how to sniff that out and run away from it. If you give a shit about culture, actually, figure out how to recognize the signs that you're dealing with somebody who is apathetic and entitled and run from those people and keep them out of your spaces too.
I feel like talking about this is like it's kind of personal for us specifically because, it's
This has
kind of
been
like
the
what we
most
said.
I've ever felt like saying out loud that I think what I do is important. Because
Yeah, on some level,
most of the time I really don't. That's not to say that I don't
no.
try, but I just like I know where my needle is at.
It's just because like the idea of this show and this channel and what we do, it's not because I think we're fucking amazing or anything. The entire reason we wanted to make content is because we wanted to have long form discussions about something, because long form discussions and like reviews and stuff like this, it's all on YouTube. The attention economy has kind of shrunk it. Like, there's not like the most thoughtful stuff you get is stuff like, Fantano and what have you. Or, if you look a little bit deeper, you can get maybe like Professor Sky or something. And that's the kind of world that I think is healthy for criticism, is just the idea of being able to not behoove yourself to format. Like, we don't care about being popular. If, like, I don't care if only 7 people watch this video. If those 7 people listen to what we have to say and take something away from it, that's what I care about. So just, we live in such strange times. So I think that what Jen and I are saying right now is literally just boil it down to be thoughtful. Think about it, take some time, ruminate, just because again, guys like this, they're so reactionary. They're so like instantly, like they don't take time to form an opinion. And it's like, just be be normal. Be normal. For
Take a
God's sake,
beat,
people.
take a beat and think.
Take a beat and think. So, now with that out of the way, goodness gracious, let's talk about stuff we are looking forward to in this new year 2026. Let's start off with some albums. We already mentioned ASAP Rocky is finally dropping Don't Be Dumb. How long has it been since the last ASAP Rocky project? Because it
It's
has
been a
been
minute.
a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Like, what was it even? It was what was it testing? Shit. I can't even remember.
The last one was yeah, I was testing back in
Oh, okay.
2018.
Nailed it. Wow. Wow. 8 years then. 8 years since the last full-length ASAP Rocky project. A lot of people are looking forward to it. ASAP Rocky's been one of the biggest names in hip hop since he came onto the scene. I really like ASAP Rocky's like mixtape stuff. His album stuff has never really hit right for me personally, but I am really like I want Don't Be Dumb to be the thing that converts me fully. Like I want to enjoy ASAP Rocky minus Clams Casino. But as of right now, it's that sort of magic that made me like him in the first place, and I'm waiting for that to come back. But this seems like it's going to be something that's going to take risks. Like the buzz around a hip hop project has not felt like this since Whole Lotta Red. And regardless of what you think
Oof.
about Whole Lotta Red, which I don't like, I am excited at the prospect of having one just because it's
Yeah, the
interesting.
hype for a whole lot of red is something that I genuinely miss. Like
Yeah.
that we were in a place of interesting uncertainty during the
Mhm.
rollout of Whole Lot of Red. And we haven't had that
Totally.
feeling in a while, and I've got that feeling with Don't Be Dumb. I have an interesting uncertainty about what this album is going to be going through my head right now, and that's a feeling that I like.
and that's dropping like this month. So we will
It's
be
next
able to
week. I'm
deliver.
looking at the
Yeah.
countdown right now. It's dropping next
Whew.
week.
So we will be talking about that in the near future. Just you all wait. After that, we are getting an album in January as well from Lucinda Williams, country
Ooh,
music's own Lucinda Williams. This may be something that we cover just because Jen and I love to cover things in the country music sphere. But yeah, if this is interesting or worthwhile, I would love to be able to check this out from one of country music's finest leaning ladies. We're also getting a new album from the band Joyce Manor. I used to go to this bar, which is the most Joyce Manor album title I've ever fucking heard. So some interesting sort of like punk adjacent stuff might be coming up in the near future. That album, like if I have anything to go by, I have a feeling that album will probably be less than 30 minutes. So that'll be an interesting little thing to cover if we want to. We're also getting in February the soundtrack album from Charlie XCX for Wuthering Heights, the Emerald Fennel movie, which,
I don't. This is the flip side, right, of the interesting uncertainty, where
yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here, but I'm gonna have to stop and give it a listen. Like that's
Oh,
too
for sure.
interesting to ignore.
I mean, you need to listen to what Charlie does as a follow-up to Brat. Like just as a moment in culture that's going to be something. And
She's
we
got a
the
movie coming out that I'm not sure what it's about, but it's like
I don't actually remember. I know she was involved in
a hurry
something.
up tomorrow style like metafiction type thing happening there, I think.
Hmm. Well, that'll be interesting to see, just because we kind of skipped over this just because this is in the wayward era of the podcast, but
Yeah.
I was not personally like mega into Brat. In fact, I kind of preferred the remix album if I'm being honest.
I
Like I like a
majorly
lot of
prefer the remix album.
yeah,
Like the
I
vision
like
really clicked for me when the remix album came out and things got weirder and more jarring and more discordant and
and more collaborative.
it made the moments on the album that I felt because I found the minimal parts of the original Brat too stripped back and too bare,
I
almost
I
like
agree.
too much breaking the kayfabe, especially like I Might Do Something Stupid, the original version of that song. I was just like, I think you're giving a little bit too much of the game away for
I
what this
also
album
think
is trying to
Charlie's just
be.
good at blending herself with other people. Like that's why the Charlie album was as successful as it was, is because there was like 58 different collaborators on that fucking album and they all worked with her super duper well. So like the
And
idea
I'm
of
down for Charlie being weird and getting
yes.
weirder. And the Brat remix album was exactly what I needed out of that, right? Getting a
Mhm.
little bit freaky with it. I haven't listened to any of the singles for this Wuthering Heights album yet, but I hope it's strange. That's the only thing I can hope for with this. But
I'm
with what I know about the films of Emerald Fennel, I don't think it, I don't know. I don't want to
it's
put too much on like Charlie, that connection there, but Emerald Fennel Wuthering Heights movie soundtracked by Charlie XCX does sound like something that popped out of gay super hell.
yeah, and I completely see it. Like I am not in fact I am probably one of Emerald Fennel's most vocal critics. I really really don't like Promising Young Woman. And also the idea of Wuthering Heights but you race swapped Heathcliff for Jacob Elordi just like I don't even have like thoughts about that. I just don't want it. I'm like I'm
Sometimes
good.
you get to a point where you see certain adaptations of things where you just start to realize, oh, didn't, you don't get it.
Because if
And
you're gonna
sometimes that
make
can be
Wuthering
interesting.
Heights,
That can be interesting, but it's a pure descriptor nonetheless. Like, oh, you didn't get it when you set out to make this.
it's one of those changes where I'm just like, this change tells me that you should have just made something else that didn't require you to change this. But regardless, It is a testament to how good of a musician I do think Charlie XCX is that I am interested in this at all because frankly, everything about it, it's like you said, gay super hell. Everything about it makes me want to go, nah. But then I remind myself, I'm just like, yeah, but I do like Charlie, so I'll give it a shot.
And
So
like this
that may
is
be
the
worth
follow-up
talking
to
about.
Brat. There are
Yeah.
stakes here to me.
Oh, most certainly. And on the opposite end of the popularity spectrum, I just kind of thought this was interesting is that we're also getting a February pop album from a big name, just not a name you would be like, oh, music from this person, is that we're getting the official musical return of Hilary Duff next month?
What?
Yeah, I know, right? And I'm just kind of
Okay.
like, if
All
this is
right.
interesting, I would love to talk about something like this because what?
If it's
You know?
interesting, yeah, like I entertained the Jonas Brothers attempted a comeback during the pandemic. I didn't have
Hmm.
anything better to do. So
Like,
so
go
why
for it.
not? Why
Maybe
not?
it'll be
I'll give it a
awesome. Who
listen.
knows? We're also next month getting a new album from Gorillaz, The Mountain. I'm mixed with Gorillaz. Like, I like some of their older stuff. Their newer stuff, not really. Like, unless they get a great collaborator. Like, we covered the last Gorillaz album on here, and basically, what determined whether or not I dug the song was just how much I liked the guest feature on it. It was just like, oh, Stevie Nicks is here. This song's good. So maybe that, like, and I really feel like Gorillaz haven't had a real winner album in a long time. Like, I feel like Plastic Beach kind of feels like the last time everybody loved a Gorillaz album.
Yeah, like I remember very vividly the rollout to the Now Now. And then as soon as that
Hmm.
album came out, it was like it disappeared into the ether. And then
And
well, yeah, song
it was
it's
okay.
yeah, it's okay. I like that. Is We Got the Power? Is that one on that one?
I think so.
Where does that one pop? No, that's not there. I think that's on
Is
Song
that?
Machine.
Oh yeah. Actually, no. I will say people did dig Song Machine, and
Yeah, people
that's
dug
a
Song Machine, but that's very clearly like a different kind of thing. And
different release
so
model.
Cracker
Like I feel like
Island,
that album wasn't planned initially, and then just kind of spontaneously became an album.
yeah, but Cracker Island being a little bit of a disappointment. You know, Gorillas have a chance at a comeback here.
Hmm.
I'll say that. If the album is good, it'll be good and I'll listen to it and I'll like it, you know? It's
Yeah,
Gorillas.
absolutely. I'm willing to give it a chance. Some a lesser kind of popular name, but I still wanted to mention because we have covered them before, is the kind of indie rock pop punk band Tiger's Jaw are putting out an album, Lost on You, in March. Again, if that's good, I would love to cover it. Then we have some releases which we think we're pretty like 90% sure that are going to happen this year, but we don't have a whole lot of details about. A new Olivia Rodrigo album is supposed to be on the horizon,
Oh,
supposed
I
to come
can't
out this
wait.
year,
I can't
but we
wait.
don't know. But after Guts, yeah, I'm like,
Guts is real. Guts
Guts
is
is
real good.
great. Like
Like
I revisit
sour
songs from that all the time.
Sour at the time was I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it, but I was still
I
like,
me as
nah,
well.
this is not really doing it for me for the most part. It's the first time I ever looked at something that was that popular and said, I think I'm too old for this, which
Hmm.
is funny because I'm not even that far apart in age from Olivia Rodrigo.
No,
But Guts is like a real step forward for her, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does next. I'm fully in the can for Olivia Rodrigo.
this is the final entry of the 3 album test that I have for artists, where it's just like this is where like my opinion about you will finally become fully formed once you have your third album. And I think we compared it when we talked about Guts, is that Olivia's trajectory most reminds us thus far of Weezer, in that Sour it feels like Blue and Guts feels like Pinkerton. So I'm interested to see if she continues this little like thing because I mean, if she follows the blueprint for like the first third of Weezer's career, that could be nice. You know, maybe.
That was the appealing thing about Guts, right? Is that you're actually seeing a little bit more of herself as a figure of fame shine through
Hmm.
in those lyrics, whereas like so much of Sour felt a little bit too congealed into like trying to evoke the everyday. No, I
Hmm.
want to hear about how your life is weird and you're kind of going insane. And Guts,
Yeah.
way more in that direction of like, I am interested in the fact that Olivia Rodrigo's life is a weird nightmare. And the fact that she's able to put that into her work with songs like All American Bitch is really, really great and really fun. And I'm glad we have pop stars that are willing to do that. You know, it
Hmm.
gives me something unique to think about. Same with, why I like Man's Best Friend better than Short and Sweet is it's got just that little bit personal edge that makes me more interested in the artist as a creative persona and not just like a delivery of good pop tunes.
It feels like right now in the pop music sphere,
We're in a
there
Pinkerton era for all of the pop girlies.
we kind of are. It feels like right now, if you take a look at every big kind of pop voice, it feels like we have an empty A tier, a pyramid top S tier, and a stacked B tier, and it feels like they're all
Mm.
trying to climb to A. Like, and I feel like that's where we're finally gonna like. I feel like people like Olivia and Sabrina are currently right now like with their next project. It feels like they are going to definitively prove whether or not they are going to be a lasting presence in the industry. And so that's always exciting to see whether or not they can prove themselves. And I believe that they wholly can. Like, I have no reason to believe otherwise. So an interesting leap from that is that we are going to get a new album from Evanescence this year. And
Okay.
what is that going to be
I mean,
like?
yeah, again with the Hillary Duff, if it's
Yes,
good, it'll be good and it'll be nice. And if it's not good, I probably won't remember
we
it.
talked about Fallen on here a long time ago in a pretty good record club, honestly, because we just talked about the sort of cultural evaluation of Evanescence and that band and Amy Lee as a presence. And Amy Lee's somebody I root for. So I really hope
Mhm.
this Evanescence album is solid. Another sort of like band that came from a similar place and had a similar fan base, even though you probably don't associate them a lot, is that we might get the new MCR album this year. Maybe. But like they are so tight-lipped about that shit, man.
Yeah, they're
It's
being weird about
crazy.
it, which, and that's the thing though, is that the foundations of Decay gives me like so much hope that the next MCR album just blows any expectations that any like mainstream graspers onto their legacy would have of them. Just completely eschew all that and make something really weird and really ambitious. Go farther than you've ever gone before because you have a guaranteed like amount of people who will be checking out whatever it is that you decide to do at least once.
Exactly.
So why not go for broke and make something weird?
Because at this point, if you're MCR, you could release an album full of 15 voice notes of you farting into a microphone and that shit would go double platinum. You
Like
have the freedom to do whatever you want right now.
The Black Parade tour has been incredibly successful. I was there. I'm gonna see them again this year. I got tickets to see them again in Nashville. And they're
Tune
coming to
in.
Louisville for Louder Than Life. Like they're setting themselves up to have a really big year. And I really do hope we get a new album out of it because it's been a while since we've gotten new My Chemical Romance, and that would be really interesting to talk about.
And it feels like guys, the pop punk resurgence has been happening for like 3 years now. It's it's a perfect time. Like people
I
want
remember
this.
the false start that was the initial anniversary release of the Black Parade back in 2016,
Hmm.
because they had done that in a very like cryptic 21 Pilots kind of way that
Hmm.
made people think it was initially going to be a whole new album, and it just ended up being an anniversary re-release with a bunch of like demos and B-sides under it, which was fine. I like that release of the Black Parade a lot. It's got some of those deep cuts I actually really, really like and still revisit to this day. But like, we got to move forward if we're gonna keep playing this game with you guys.
For sure. Speaking of old legends, we are also getting a new album from Madonna this year, which is notable because supposedly it is a sequel to her comeback album from, I believe, 2004, Confessions on the Dance Floor. I think this has a working title that is literally just Confessions on the Dance Floor 2, which is notable because that came after a string of albums that nobody really cared for, that where Madonna kind of drifted off into the, she had her weird Iraq War album that nobody liked, and then an album after that that even less people listened to, and then Confessions on the Dance Floor had Hung Up on it, which personally my favorite Madonna hit. So this should be interesting because she's at the exact same point in her career as she was when she dropped the first one, where she's had a couple of weirder albums that haven't really hit with people, but she seems like she really wants to come back and kind of assert herself again. So I'm definitely open to the possibility of this being a total rager. Hope so. I've kind of become a stealth huge Madonna head over the course of the past year. Like that Mike the Snare video really kickstarted me listening to her stuff, and I'm just like, man, the Madonna self-titled is fucking ironclad. That shit is a bulletproof pop album. But I'm very much looking forward to that. Another old legend coming back, supposedly for the last time. We are getting the self-titled Megadeth album.
Ooh.
I have no clue what this means because Dave Mustaine is about as consistent as something deeply inconsistent. I don't know. I have not really enjoyed the last couple of Megadeth albums, but the thing is that a lot of it is because of Dave Mustaine's writing and unfortunate centrist political tendencies, which I just when they show up in their songwriting, it's cringe as fuck. It's really hard to ignore. But hey, the guitars always shred. I'm not dismissing the idea that this is potentially Megadeth's best album in 20 years. That's completely possible. I would love for them to go off on a good note because despite how much shit I talk about this band and how much I make fun of Dave Mustaine, there are like 5 Megadeth albums that I love. So this is completely within the realm of possibility of being good. I love to be proven wrong because it means I get good music.
Worth a shot.
Uh, we got in January, we're also getting a solo album from Louis Tomlinson. Whether or not that will be interesting or notable whatsoever remains to be seen. I
What
don't
was
know.
his what was his big hit from that era where they were all going different directions? Help me
I am
remember.
going to look up because
Which
actually,
one did
wait a
he
minute.
do?
Rhiannon, do you know what Louis Tomlinson's big hit was? Solo hit?
I don't recognize any. I'm like on his Spotify page. I don't recognize any of these song names.
I look up Louis Tomlinson hit songs and it just lists One Directions.
Oh no. Well, that's the thing is that like when they were all like doing their big debuts,
Back to You. Back to
Back to
You is his
You,
biggest song.
I couldn't even tell you what that is. Okay, that
Yeah.
must have been he must have come out on the bottom for me when that whole like everybody in One Direction's gonna go solo and do the thing was starting to happen.
Yeah,
Maybe
in
there's
terms
something
of
to it. I've just never listened to any of this guy's music, so maybe there's
the
something to it.
thing is with the One Direction crew is that now that Harry's kind of in a place where it's like, I don't know if he's going to decide to be interesting again, but maybe he might. I'm actually like it again, it is definitely Rhiannon's influence here, but I'm way more interested in what Niall is doing these days because his output has been reliably quite solid for the last couple of like since the pandemic. He's been putting out solid shit. Like I kind of think that he's overtaken Harry just in terms of raw consistency. So I hope that he drops something and that is good. And completely on a very, very different mode is that we're getting a new album from Poppy this month as well,
Let's
Empty
go.
Hands,
Oh
which
my God.
this could mean anything. Like Poppy, there is she does whatever she wants, and sometimes that means making albums that I think suck. That sometimes that means making albums that I think bang like a son of a bitch. So
I know better than to try to call any shots on Poppy, but I'm always there for when the shots are actually taken. You know what I mean?
oh, for sure.
I'm gonna check this out.
For sure, for sure. We're also getting an album from indie rock band that we have been very vocal about in the past that aren't super big, but might be on the threshold of being super big, that being Rat Boys. They're doing a new
Yes.
album in February called Singing to an Empty Chair, which I will happily cover. Honest to God, Mike the Snare doing a discography deep dive on them is one of the coolest things a YouTuber has like ever done because he's doing videos about Fleetwood Mac and Michael Jackson, and then a band who has probably less than 100,000 monthly streams at the time he made that video. And, he's giving them that level of exposure. That's cool as hell. The last Rat Boys album, The Window, was absolutely terrific. A year highlight in the year that came out in. And I really hope that they continue their upward trajectory just because there is a place for these indie rock bands like Rat Boys and Wednesday and Big Thief that people want now, or like MJ Lenderman or Cameron Winter. Like, it kind of feels like rock's sort of revival is the indie rock scene of right now. Like, the
Yeah.
MJ Lendermans of the world and the Cameron Winters are ushering in this sort of critical and like everybody seems to be chomping at the bit for this kind of sound. And please, like, we need more good, interesting rock music made by a bunch of scrappy 20 somethings who, siphon gas in the middle of Iowa to make it to their next show. We have been sorely missing this for the
Yeah.
past
I
couple
mean,
of years.
The Window is my talking strictly rock, like no weird subgenre niche stuff that I have to argue with people about on the internet to decide what is what. The Window is my favorite rock album of the decade. Like I
Stellar choice.
love it immensely. So I am fully down for whatever Rat Boys are gonna do next. I'm so excited for this record.
And I wore the right shirt today because next month, finally, finally, we are getting a true blue, bona fide Converge album. We are getting Love Is Not Enough in February. Metalcore and mathcore legends converge. My shirt. One of my favorite bands in general. I adore them. They have not missed when it comes to their records. They have been an active band for like 30 years now, and they have never been anything less than the standard bearers of metalcore and the metalcore scene. I have no reason to believe that they will drop the ball on this. Even this far into their career, they have still been doing awesome stuff. They did the 2021 metal collaboration album with Chelsea Wolfe, which is still fucking amazing and I love, but I have been missing the true blue Converge sound for a while now. Their last album, The Dusk in Us, is my favorite Converge album. So I have reason to believe this is an album of the year candidate in the making, and I am hoping to God that they are able to, come through with another home run. We are also getting an album from legendary alt country singer-songwriter Bill Callahan, who has been involved in numerous
Yes.
different fantastic musical projects over the years, called My Days of 58. That's coming out in February. So I will happily check that out just because I really love Bill Callahan and some of his various projects. I know that Riley is a really big fan of a lot of his stuff. That's kind of how I found out about Callahan. But I'm hoping that that's really solid. We're getting into the albums that might come out. Like
Might be
this is
happening,
like
might
a
not be happening this year actually, but we'll
50-50.
see.
Yeah. We might get Lana Del Rey, maybe. We might
Maybe.
be getting a new Lana album. Last we got was did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard, which was a very, very good album. Uh if it's good, it's good. With Lana, she is. I have about as much of affinity for her as you can for somebody whose half of their career you just kind of think is whatever. Like, I really like her when I like her. I'm really indifferent to her when I'm really indifferent to her. So, hoping that this is one of the times where she comes through with some colorful, Norman fucking Rockwell style shit, where I can be like, hey, this is great.
This one's
Um,
good. Yeah.
then there's Nicki Minaj.
Nicki
Uh
Minaj. I'm not listening to that. I'm just gonna tell you
yeah,
right now. I do
here's
not
what
care.
my only prediction with Nicki Minaj is that if I had to put like money, if I was the gambling type and you had a list of modern artists to say, who do you think is going to release the worst song of this year? Most of my money would go on Nicki Minaj because of her talking about making a song about Charlie Kirk, which will be the worst piece of music that is made all year. Make no mistake. Like, if Bigfoot is anything to judge it by, this has a potential to be a legitimate, insane crash out of a record, which I will absorb through people who are better at talking about music than I am.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go near this. I'm gonna be
See,
honest with you.
like I don't either, and partially it's because look, I'm not trying to disrespect her when I say this. I will disrespect her for many other reasons, but Nicki Minaj is a curious case because I don't really think Nicki Minaj has a good album. And I feel like a lot of people, there are people who would fight me on that, but I feel like the ways in which she is a significant artist and cultural figure for hip hop has nothing to do with her as an albums artist, like at all,
Yeah,
ever. Like it's
and that's fine.
never,
You don't have to be
yeah,
that
you
person.
don't.
Clearly, Nikki did what she did, and she did it well, often, But
Yeah.
she's never been an albums artist. Like when I was even when I was growing up in like the peak Barb era, nobody talked about a Nicki Minaj record. Like even my friends who were Barbs were just like listening to the singles over and over again.
All of my friends who are reformed barbs. They're all just like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, you know what? That's
I
brave
don't
of
want
you
to
to
give
admit.
them.
I don't know if I'd have that.
I'm not gonna denigrate it because like there's a there obviously
Sure.
to Nicki Minaj's early stuff. Like I see why there was momentum there when there was. I have my opinions why there is not now.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So potential disaster, who knows? Uh definitely definitely very up in the air, but nonetheless incoming is that the return of Rihanna may happen this year.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly. Like her last album was the very critically and fan beloved Anti, and ever since then she's just kind of poof after her insane run of number one hits. Like I, she was like 19 and she was starting to put out number one hits and then just like didn't stop for 5 straight years. Her run is crazy. So, if that happens, cool. If it doesn't, people been getting by without it, and they're starving, but they'll survive, I guess. The next one is also in the same area. This is the category I named this sort of subgenre after, which is this is the Sky Ferreira section. We might get the new Sky Ferreira album this year. We also probably won't.
What
But,
evidence do we even have that we are any closer to a Sky Ferreira album
I've
than we were
I've
before?
seen more articles come out in the last 6 months about her talking about the fact that she hasn't put out another album. So maybe that's something. Maybe they're priming the world to release that, but I have no idea. We are probably, I think, in the near future getting an album from Zach Bryan, who,
Oh yeah, that's coming out this week.
oh, really? It's that
I think
soon.
so.
So we may actually talk about that, which is odd just because Brian, like, since we last covered him, he's had a very tumultuous couple of years, just like struggling with like public perception and like I think alcoholism that's still been kind of persistently following the dude. Like, he just kind of seems like he's in a rough spot. Hopefully, he cleans his act up and, just kind of gets his head on straight. Poor dude. But, I hope that he keeps putting out good music because he has yet to really disappoint on that front, frankly. So I hope that that streak continues. We also might get a follow up to the last Beach House album this year. I really hope so. I thought that Once Twice Melody was a really interesting rollout, and like the way that that sort of double album was presaged with all of those EPs was interesting, and it was just kind of a grab bag of excellent Beach House songs. But I really want them to return to a more trim album specific identity and sound, just because that was what made their kind of combination of shoegaze and dream pop so alluring, was that it always had such a specific sound. Like, you listen to Bloom and Depression Cherry and it's like, yeah, those are albums from the same genre, but they feel worlds apart in terms of what their actual aesthetics are. So hopefully we get another incarnation of their fantastically successful formula for sound. After that, oh, we may get the release of the next Beyonce album in the Renaissance trilogy. I don't think it's been outright confirmed, but it's been heavily teased and talked about that this will be the rock album of Beyonce's. And
Yeah, that's the rumors that I've heard as well as the
I
Beyonce rock album is on the
I
way.
really hope they're right because it sounds awesome. Like I want to hear Beyonce like vocally just let loose with a banging Stratocaster. Like just give me something wild and just go for broke because I love Cowboy Carter. I know that that album is messy and weird and not all of it works, and that's kind of why I love it. And the fact that she bounces from Renaissance Chapter 1, which is like the most aesthetically confident thing she's ever made, I'm totally in the bag. Like whatever you're doing right now, I'm all for it. You're taking risks. You're still relying on your strengths. You are proving that you are one of the best pop stars on earth. So keep at it.
The
Awesome.
Renaissance project has been a major success in my eyes so
Hmm.
far, and
I mean,
I have no
everybody's talked
reason.
about those two albums endlessly when they dropped.
Yeah,
Endlessly.
I had mixed feelings about Cowboy Carter, some of which I've worked out is just me being clutching a little bit of proverbial perils that I was trying to like be very nuanced about, but I've it's grown on me quite a bit actually in
Hmm.
its eccentricities, and so I'm really excited for the next Beyonce album.
Ditto. I don't think this is up in the air necessarily. We just don't know when, but we are getting a new project from Boldy James this year, supposedly. And
Okay.
another dude in the like kind of B tier popularity of modern rappers who ever since 2020, man, dude has been dropping great project after great project after great project. Like, if you all haven't heard Manger on McNichols yet, oh my God, drop whatever you're doing and listen to that right now. I kicked myself for getting to that album so late. And I was like, okay, the fact that we aren't looking at Boldy James as at least like a West Side Gun tier artist, we gotta fix that. We gotta solve that because he's doing as good of work in as great of a volume and is still collaborating with people like, The Alchemist, for instance. So here's hoping that he gets his real pinata moment where maybe he finds a producer to collaborate with and gets a real critical breakthrough.
Yeah.
This one's really up in the air just because this band is known for fuck shit, but we might see the return of Death Grips this year. We know that there is
That's another I'll
something
believe it when I see it.
we know that there's something going on. And to me, it's like it's less about the fact that death grips are promising something or not promising something. It's the fact that they're doing anything at all that means we should probably have eyes on them. So whether or not that's this year, whether or not that's next year, whether or not it's ever, death grips is always going to be like they are firmly in the alternative music sphere. Like they could disappear for 10 years and I feel like they could come back in the 2030s and everybody would be like, "Whoa, Death Grips."
Yeah,
So,
drop everything. Death Grips is online like that. That
hmm
essential nature of them as a band is, I don't think, ever gonna leave our circle of the internet.
no. And you know what? I used to be kind of a Death Grips contrarian. I was just like, yeah, I only like some of their stuff and not other stuff. And as the years have gone by, I've been beaten into submission, just being like, yeah, I guess I'm a really big Death Grips fan.
I'm still a little bit more of a Death Grips agnostic. There was a week where I just spent the whole week, I would just listen to one of their albums every day, and I went through the whole thing, and I was like, but it's
And
some of it has grown on me since that little experiment has passed me by. But the idea of the return of Death Grips has not really been anything that's kept me up at night. We'll see.
mhm, they're guys who, like, if their catalog is their catalog as it is right now, they're gonna be legendary. So, like, no sense in really like troubling myself over it, really. Here's an interesting one. We know this is coming. We just don't know when. But Erica Badu has been back in the studio. We've been talking about a lot of those Soulquarian artists over the course of the last year.
Yes.
And a lot of those people are a little bit more active again. And not to mention, Erica Badu has been saying that she has been working with The Alchemist. So this has the potential to be like supernova white hot when it comes out. Like
Yeah.
potentially this will be something that everybody is onto. So here's hoping. And also really hope this is true. Flying Lotus may be dropping this year. It's been a
Whew.
hot minute since they dropped Flamagra, which is their last like true blue bona fide album that was 2019, I think, which God, it's been 7 years, man. Like, come on. I become a bigger Flying Lotus fan every single year, and every year I'm just like I'm jonesing. I'm like, look, it's cool that you do Adult Swim soundtracks, but also I just want another fucking, just give me another album, man. I love You're Dead so much. Please, I'm dying here. They are like the sort of trip hop instrumental hip hop. They are the voice. Like I am of the opinion that like I know this is a super fanboy thing to even think about, but like I probably have lost an not insignificant amount of sleep being like, oh man, we're never gonna get that Kendrick Flylo album. And it was real. It was real. And they just decided not to release it. And I'm just like, what do you want me to do with that information other than cry about it? So there is that. We also may see the return of metal band that we are really big fans of here on this channel, Gojira. They had a big event when they played the fucking. Did they play the Olympics or something? When did they show
Yes.
up the
Yes,
last
they
time?
did. Yes, they
Yeah,
did. They played the Olympics.
they played the Olympic, and it was actually kind of fucking metal as fuck. Like
It's
they were on top of
awesome.
like castles and shit playing their guitars. And if you hear a Gojira song, you're just like, yeah, that's the type of song you need to be standing on top of a fucking castle to be able to perform. So very excited to see if they come back. They are a reliably, incredibly solid progressive death metal band. So hopefully they come back. We may see another album from No Name. Hopefully that's true. Hopefully we can have an album that's a little less swallowed by controversy than Sundial was, just so we can talk about it as even somebody who was bothered by a lot of the controversy of Sundial. I would just really like to talk about how good No Name is without all of the baggage of fucking J Electronica's horse shit. Can we just like I like No Name. I would like to be able to like No Name again. Can we just go back to that, please? Very, very good artist. I really would like to be able to tell people how great she is with a new album of hers. And this is not this is not an upcoming album release. This is something that's already been released, but I promised that I would talk about is the fact that this podcast's own August and his partner Mason, there is a new Glacier Flower song. It is available to buy. I will put it in the Bandcamp of the description below here. It is
The
a
boys are back.
fantastic track. Please get on that shit. This means that they're back in the studio, boys. They're cooking stuff. I don't know if they're gonna drop anything this year, but I would take a look at their Bandcamp and put on notifications for them. See if if they maybe they get back. Maybe they'll be teasing stuff. I don't know. But new track, amazing. And speaking of new songs and new albums, is that we actually got the second new single today from one of this podcast's favorite bands and one of my favorite bands in general, one of the most underrated bands on the planet right now, The Twilight Sad. They're coming out with a new album. It's going to be relatively soon. Both of the singles have been fucking fantastic so far. I'm pretty sure the longest discography breakdown we have ever made on this show is a 6 hour long video talking about the discography of The Twilight Sad. So yeah, I have some thoughts and feelings about this band, and I am looking forward to them. I believe that Robert Smith is on one of them, and Robert Smith has like toured with them and says that they are his favorite working band. If you are a post-punk enjoyer, if you like Joy Division, if you like New Order, if you like any of that shit, you have to start listening to The Twilight Sad. You have to.
I'm
One of the
so
best bands
excited.
working, and they're back. We didn't really know if they were just because they had, they've been cranking out like live Bandcamp releases for the last couple of years. They're not a particularly large group. And so, they have to sustain themselves off of something. I really, really hope that this is a winner for them because they have yet to disappoint. So that is what it's looking like in terms of albums. We've got a lot of stuff to look forward to this year and a lot of stuff in the immediate future. Like as soon as next week is when things are going to start lining up. So we're in it, folks. So let's switch over mediums and talk a little bit about films and films that are coming out. Let's briefly, I want to touch on the Critics' Choice Awards, mainly because this is one of the ways you can kind of get a bit of a litmus test for what the Oscars are going to be like. And 2025 had a lot of sort of last minute entries in the Oscar race. Just sort of like the first half of the year, it was just like, damn, is anything going to challenge Sinners? Because it was kind of arid there for a little while. But we have a solid conglomerate of movies here. For Best Picture, we saw Begonia, Yorgos Lanthimos get
Begonia is
nominated.
wonderful.
Del Toro's
I hope
Frankenstein
that
got
one continue.
nominated. What now?
I hope Begonia gets a weird Oscar push because it would be the only thing that would be funnier than Poor Things being an Oscar-winning movie is Begonia being an Oscar-winning movie.
The
You know what
fact
I
that
mean?
Yorgos Lanthimos is an Oscar darling now is, to me, absolutely fucking hysterical because that dude's a weird Euro art house psychopath. And that's why I love him. I love his movies. He makes great films. He also feels like he should be the furthest thing from the Oscars that he should be. It's kind of like, I'm going to criticize the Oscars a lot. I'm going to until I die. That is just how I am built. But there does feel like in the last 10 years, Oscars have been kind of getting a little better. Nominations wise, the pool feels larger. It feels like the idea for what is possible. Like, I feel like we have just completely skipped over the fact that The Substance was an Oscar winning movie and had a decent shot of winning people things like Best Actress. 10 years ago, I would have told you that that would be fucking stupid. Like, even considering that a Brian Usna derivative body horror movie is an Oscar favorite. Like that what does that even mean? And this is the first year that the Oscars are having their new requirements for voting. Ergo, you have to actually have seen the movie to vote for it, which was not a rule previously in the Academy. What are you all fucking doing? I mean, like,
What are we
good, but like,
doing?
what
Okay,
have you
can we
been
talk about some
doing?
movies that we're looking forward to? Because I want to shout out January Trash Baby Incarnate Primates, which looks
Oh yeah,
so
I've had a
lovely.
few people
You
have seen
know
that
me.
I
I
know.
love my January Trash Babies. I love my Bye Bye Mans. I Night Swim was pretty bad, but I had high hopes for that. Like bad in a boring way. I think Primate could be absolutely wonderful.
I would
Because
love
that's
like there
Johannes,
is
that's maestro of trash, Johannes Roberts behind the camera on this one.
I know that name. What else
He
has
did
he
a
done?
47 meters down. His last movie was the Resident Evil reboot that nobody saw, that nobody I know saw.
God, yeah, that's right. Oh man, thank God we got Zach Kreger on that shit. Whoo boy. Wow.
Um, Gus Van Sant, Dead Man's Wire is also coming out
Yep.
soon. Shot in Louisville. Shout out to that. Um,
Really? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
I had a friend that worked in the accounting department for that movie, so I heard some stuff. I think it's gonna be
Oh
good.
wow. Has Vincent like shot in Kentucky before? Because I feel like he has. I feel like he had a I feel like something like Jerry or something. Like that was probably shot in like fucking Utah. But like something like that.
Possibly, maybe, I don't know. But this one was
Yeah.
shot in downtown Louisville. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Um,
In January, we also have something that I am looking forward to, which is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which I'm not like super in the tank for any of the 28 blank later things. I mostly find the first one just like an interesting zombie movie, and the 28 Years Later movie, I was like, this movie is kind of a fucking mess, but it's also like so formally fascinating and such an interesting like example of just expressionistic digital filmmaking that I'm like, you know what, Danny Boyle, if you're gonna do weird shit again, I'm sad. Like if we're moving away from yesterday and we're doing weird zombie movie shit where the movie is paced like like you and Alex Garland did some LSD while you were writing,
yeah.
sure, man, absolutely. It looks weird, and I'm here for it being weird. I There is something about that last movie where I was just like, I don't know how much of this works, but it does work for me. It also has maybe the most confoundingly silly movie ending of anything I saw in 2025, where I was just like, what? What were they thinking? Like, thank you, but also, why does this zombie movie have a reference to the Teletubbies? What's going on here? Why did this happen? Thank you, I think? Maybe?
A
Who
movie
knows?
that I hope is good, that I have hopes for, that's coming out pretty soon is The Wrecking Crew. I only am paying attention to this
Yeah, what is that?
because it's directed by Angel Manuel Soto, who did Charm City Kings back in 2020, a movie I
Ooh.
adore that you can't watch anymore because it was an
Oh,
HBO Max exclusive and now it is no longer on HBO Max. So I'm trying to
boo.
dig up a copy of that movie. And then he did a Blue Beetle a couple of years ago, which was
Oh,
interesting. Like it was pretty solid for
I
a
really
Blue
forgot that that
Beetle
happened.
movie. It's got interesting textures to it. I like this guy as a director. It's got a fun cast behind it. So I'm optimistic about it. We're getting new movies from Sam Raimi and Gore Verbinski this year, pretty
Yeah.
soon. We're getting Send Help in January. We're getting the new Gore Verbinski movie, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, in February, which I don't know anything
Amazing
about.
title.
I don't know
Amazing
anything about
title.
either of them, but those are guys who like when they show up, I'm there. So I will
Mhm.
be there and I will tell you my feelings on those movies when I see them. Uh,
We've already talked about the incoming Scream 7, which we have not a damn drop of interest in for many reasons.
let's say
So
I'm not watching that. Good
yeah,
luck.
it's like good
Good
for you
luck.
or sorry that happened. I ain't reading all that. We are getting what I'm interested to see will be an interesting counter to Del Toro's Frankenstein. We are getting Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride exclamation
Yes.
point, which is her take on The Bride of Frankenstein, which looks like like this looks like what Emerald Fennel would be like if I liked her. Like the trailer for The Bride looks like that brand of edgy Tumblr shit, except I'm
Oh,
like, I like this. This looks cool.
well, it's doing the thing. Here's the thing about it, though, is that a movie like The Bride, those aesthetic decisions immediately draw me in and make me interested as to what you're going to do. Like you're bringing something to the table when
Hmm.
you make those kinds of aesthetic decisions in an adaptation of The Bride of Frankenstein, as opposed to what Emerald Fennel does, which is somehow make things less interesting the more that she like projects onto it. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to that movie as well. I think it could be really good.
We are in March. We're getting a Peaky Blinders movie, which I had no clue.
I haven't watched that show, so I have no opinion on
Uh,
this.
Pretty solid show. Cillian Murphy's quite good in it. I mean, I'm assuming he'll probably be in the film. So, after him getting all that Oscar attention for Oppie, it probably feels like that a lot more eyes might be on something like this. Who knows? Uh, we're getting a sequel to Ready or Not, which
Sure.
finally these like
I
I
don't
am
like those
so
guys' movies, but Ready or Not is fine. I hate the way that those guys directed the Scream movies. Everything about their directorial sensibilities just did not fit the material for me. So
I
hopefully
like them.
going back to this well will give me something serviceable, but I don't feel
I
particularly
just
strong
want
about
to
them.
compliment this on having a stupid movie subtitle that's actually correct because it's Ready or Not, Here I Come, as opposed to like, why have all movies forgotten how to do the titles? Like the Now You See Me movies have fumbled the bag on this. Like you all had it right in front of you, and then you were just like, let's do Now You See Me, and then Now You See Me Too, and then let's do the clever title for the third. And it's just like, what the you fucked it up. You fucked it up. What's wrong with you?
Wait a second. Sorry, I've got the list in front of me
Go.
right now. We're getting two movies directed by Andrew Stanton this year
Really?
because he's directing Toy Story 5, which I knew and I'm less
Hmm.
interested in. But he's doing another movie called In the Blink of an Eye that's like a live action
Live
sci-fi
action. This is his
thing
first live action, isn't it?
and Daveed Diggs is in it.
Oh shit. David. Okay.
I just learned about this, guys.
Wow.
Who
Okay.
I don't know if this will be good, but new Andrew Stanton is an exciting prospect, man.
Yeah, Stanton's a good talent.
He hasn't directed a movie in 10 years, and that was Finding Dory. Who cares?
Yeah,
Uh,
whatever.
but
Uh
this could be something.
uh we have the Super Mario Galaxy movie being released, which I will also not pay any attention to because it will be for 4-year-olds and I don't care.
Can't
Like,
wait
I
to
mean,
figure out what Beastie Boys song they put in it. That's it.
Beastie Boys or like Carly Simon or like like one of those artists that'll get like 40-year-olds be like, oh, and then they'll go and take their kids to it because they heard the funny song and the funny trailer. Um, we've got The Mummy, which is gonna have Wise and Brendan Fraser in it again.
Oh, that's right. That's coming out this year.
So yeah, I would love for that to be good. Like I would like because the original The Mummy is very fun little movie. I don't have like a huge amount of nostalgia for it or anything, but like yeah, I'd turn that on right now and have a good time with it. So I'm always gonna be rooting for Brendan Fraser. Dude has a a story attached to him that's very like you want to root for that dude, and I hope he encounters a lot of success. He's a very talented man, and I hope that he and Wise are able to recapture their screen chemistry, because that's an era that I really miss, is when movie stars were movie stars and you actually watched them and you were like, wow, these guys have chemistry and they aren't just blocks of wood shouting at each other and cross-cutting. Okay, cool, interesting.
We're getting
Anyway,
the we're getting the Michael Jackson biopic this year.
is that the one that his family signed off on?
Yes, because it's the one that's directed by Antoine Fuqua.
That should be something that won't cause 90,000 think pieces to be written about it. Hmm. That
I
that's the
can't
thing.
wait to not watch it. Like at the same time, like yes, this movie is probably gonna be very controversial and will probably actually like
But is
has
it
the
going to
potential
be
to
worth it is the question.
um,
I just don't there's just not a universe where I'm like, yeah, I think that's going to be a good, satisfactory film.
it's written by
Like
John Logan. So like th- that's a
it
real
could be
that's a real name. There's
it
something that
it my concern is really just that it's probably going to be hagiography, and like at this point I don't really see what purpose that serves for, especially Michael Jackson of all
well
people, where
it
like
serves
yeah, he's got
it serves his
controversy
estate.
surrounding him, but his fan base is 90% of the known world, and like a third of them don't give a shit. So like I don't even like who is that for? Like if you're delivering some sort of counter narrative, it kind of feels it feels a little ridiculous at this point, but whatever. I
Biopics transitioning out of like genuine attempts by artists to capture something that they admire about a real person to PR for the estate of whoever the
yeah,
subject is or whoever
hate that.
whoever has control of the project that is close to the person, like the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, is
That's
just I don't care. Like if it's very clearly laundering the reputation
for
of
sure.
this person for the sake of somebody else who is not the subject or the artist making the thing. Why should I care? You paid
Also,
Antoine Fuqua a lot of money to make a movie where a bunch of stuff doesn't happen that people might actually want to make interesting art about. Why should I care?
I am going to be my most admittedly reductive here, but like, are any is could this movie theoretically be a more enjoyable experience than Off the Wall? Is the answer no? Yeah, it's no. So I don't care. Like, I just like if you want to consume art that is in tandem related to Michael Jackson, like what? Like why? If you're going to do that, why? Simple as.
David
Regardless,
Lowery movie, Mother Mary. Can't wait. I
very
love David
excited.
Lowery. I will sit down and watch whatever he does. I even watched that friggin' Peter Pan movie that he did.
I
But
did not tune into that, but I am
it's
still
okay.
very much I am one of the Old Man in the Gun's biggest fans, and I am also one of the Green Knight's biggest fans. So I'm in. Like I don't
I will
even like
ride.
a ghost story, but I'm sat for whatever Lowry does.
Pete's Dragon even is like the platonic ideal of what a movie like that made for that reason should be. So I have a
Mhm.
lot of respect for Lowry as a filmmaker.
Yeah, he's a cool indie dude. I'm always going to be paying attention to that. The sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. This is a strange thing because I
The movie
kind of
looks like
grew up
concrete.
like why like is there a reason this movie is so successful? Like I'm not trying to insult it. I know a lot of people love that movie, and I think the book that it's based on, is it because it's based on a book?
Yes.
My librarian wife said yes, so I am assuming that that is like carried over. It's just I remember seeing that movie and just being like, Yeah, that was
I've
that
watched The Devil Wears Prada fairly recently, actually, and I
like
do like it quite
Streep
a
and
bit.
Hathaway are good in it.
It's
Like
earned it's earned its legacy as like, a movie that won a couple people Oscars and was talked about for a while. Like, it's a good movie.
yeah.
I
I
don't know
just
why we're doing this though.
I never understood the like monolithic success of it. It was just always a bit like, oh, that one, huh? I mean, I guess,
It's a good
sure.
movie and it's an
Yeah.
interesting cultural phenomena. I don't need another one.
The
I especially
gays
don't
will
need
love it. The
I don't
gays
need
will
one
eat it
that
up.
looks like a Walgreens commercial like Hocus Pocus 2 did. And that's the thing. Like I saw
Yeah,
the trailer and it's
it's
like you made a movie about
so
a fashion industry and you made it look like concrete.
what like I'm not saying you got to be Paul Thomas Anderson, but like you could at least try. You
I'm
know, like
rewatching I'm rewatching Twin Peaks right now and I just like I miss when things had warm to them. Like
I
it's just such a simple
preaching to the
ask, but like
choir.
how long has it been since we've had a movie that looked like Twin Peaks? Like just
You know,
in the colors of it all.
one of like there are many of the like circulating Instagram like slop memes that I see like regurgitated every other day, but one of the ones I'm very okay with is the one where somebody just like takes the picture of a movie from the 50s that somebody is watching on a laptop and they're like, if you tried to color grade a movie like this today, they would
They
take
would
you out
kill
into the
you.
Warner Brothers lot and shoot you in the head. And like the reason I like that little meme is because it's just like you're spiritually 100% correct. I really would like to have movies that look interesting again. Just like I want more like hire more gaffers. Light your fucking movies. Let me see the colors. Jesus Christ, people. I need to see the colors.
Ah,
What is this
ooh,
medium for?
ooh, ooh. New Boots Riley movie in May. I love boosters. Kiki Palmer is in it.
Ooh, Key Palmer.
I
Okay.
I don't want to know what it's about, but I'm sitting down day one for a new Boots Riley movie.
One of my favorite theatrical experiences I've ever had was walking into Sorry to Bother You without knowing anything about it, and I left that just being like, whoa, whoa.
The amount of shaking that your camera is doing right now perfectly evokes the feeling of watching that movie unprepared.
I missed his TV show that I think was on like Amazon or something.
Yeah, he
I
did an
really
Amazon TV
wanted to
show
check
called
it out.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. I want to check that out too, just because I like Boots Riley a lot, and he's like one of those actual like industry outsiders who managed to become an insider who, has the potential to actually have like radical political thought in his movies in a way that most people do not. So, like, on look, Boots, call up David Diggs, like, make that happen. Make that happen. That's a
Please.
collab that needs
That
to
would be
happen.
great.
Dude, Boots Riley directed clipping music video. Please, come on. I need it. I need it.
Um, Disclosure Day, the new Steven Spielberg go.
Oh,
It's coming.
we've got okay, new Spielberg. Yes. Kaminsky shooting it. Yes. Josh O'Connor is in it. Yes. There are aliens. Like, how much of my blood do I need to sell? Like,
I was gonna say the only thing I know about it is that there are aliens in it. I
I haven't
dodged
even
the
watched the trailer because I don't
I
like.
was
I
gonna
just
say when I went to see Avatar, I intentionally walked in at the last minute so I wouldn't have to watch the trailer.
I'm so in like this. Like Spielberg and Scorsese are just having this late career run where I feel like both of them are like, I'm getting up there, so I might as well, go out with the bang because they're not wasting a single moment of celluloid. So I'm super and also just the idea of Spielberg revisiting a concept like aliens and science fiction at this point in his career when the last time he did something like that was, well, I mean, fucking E.T. So like what does that
Yeah.
look like now? How does that change? Like I have a
Or
feeling that
like
this is
War
going
of
to
the
be
Worlds, right? This is his first sci-fi since War of the Worlds.
yeah. Like what like I have a feeling that we're going to have a movie that's very much like half mystery and half like government procedural thing just because that feels like where Spielberg's at. I just don't know how it's going to materialize into the movie. But regardless, I am set. He is, he's one of the goats, of course. There's a new Star Wars movie. I don't care. Whatever. I fucking
Coyote versus Acme is actually coming out finally,
okay. I'm in.
which
I'm sat.
I would not give two cares about. if it didn't actually seem like an interesting movie.
Yes, like the whole
Like it
drama
seems
around
like
it
it could actually be
notwithstanding, like
really interesting and really funny. So
part of the reason this was such a victory is because it legitimately feels like a prevailing victory for the idea of an audience actually being fucking interested in what a movie is about. People are like, this sounds good. Why aren't you doing it? And then that
yeah.
actually won. So, like, I'm in. I really want to see
Here's
it.
here's a weird one. We're getting a remake of Cliffhanger, directed by
Right.
wait a second. Directed by Khaled Sarah, the guy that did all those Liam Neeson movies and did like Jungle Cruise and Black Adam most recently.
Huh.
But here's the hook. Written by Anna Lily Armapour?
Of Girl
Yeah.
Walks Home Alone at Night?
Yes. And The Bad Batch.
Yo.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, this could
Okay.
just be a big nothing burger, but I see her name attached to a movie and I have to at least give it a glance.
Okay. We're also getting Supergirl in June, which naturally I am very excited for because we've got our members only episode on Superman if you want to hear us talk about that, but I'm very interested in an incarnation of Supergirl that is this, disaster alcoholic fuck up, which is just like it feels like Gunn is going to be leaning into his strengths a little bit more with something like Supergirl because Superman, while that is a James Gunn movie through and through, it felt like that was doing a lot of things that he wasn't relying on in like the Guardians movies because the Guardians movies are such like, it's a bunch of misfits and Suicide Squad was also, it's a bunch of this feels like more of a return to that, but like what does that look like after Superman? That I'm interested in.
Yeah, we're getting Clayface as well, the Mike Flanagan script.
Yes, Mike Flanagan written, and I believe who's directing that one again?
James Watkins, who did The Woman in Black, and he did Eden
Okay,
Lake. He did
okay, okay.
he, most recently he did the Speak No Evil remake with James McAvoy, but that's
Very,
whatever.
very like talented guy, but depends on the script he's working with. So if he's using
Yeah, like
Flanagan's
I'm
script, then
confident he could direct an interesting movie.
for sure, for sure, I'll have hope for that one. Then I really that has the opportunity to be really great. We have oh God, fucking the live action remake of Moana. What are we doing, guys? What are we
I don't
fucking
know.
like?
I don't care.
Why are we doing? Why are we
I'm
doing
too old.
this?
I'm too old to care about this, man. I'm
I
not.
fucking like, anywho, the Odyssey. This will be the movie of 2026 for sure. Like this is like I to compare where Christopher Nolan is right now, it's like he just made Oppenheimer, which ostensibly posits him as our decade's Francis Ford Coppola, and this is his Apocalypse Now. This is his indulgent, I get to do whatever the fuck now. I have unlimited money. I'm writing off of the biggest critical success of my entire career. I am a too big to fail level talent where even if this gets, a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, it will make $1 billion. This will be awesome. I want to see more Greek shit in movies. I'm a big Greek mythology nut, and everyone who I know who has seen the prologue to the Odyssey that is being teased in theaters right now is like, this shit's awesome. They say the start of it feels very Dunkirk to them, which cool.
Interesting.
Yes, awesome. Please give it to me.
Interesting. Okay, we've got Greta Gerwig's Narnia movie coming out
Greta,
toward the
Greta, let's
holidays.
go, let's go.
I'm rooting for you, girl. I hope this is worth it.
I hope this kicks all kinds of ass, as well as another movie that I know will kick at least a moderate amount of ass. My favorite movie title of the year for sure, Evil Dead Burn, will be coming out this summer, which I'm always going to be a little excited for the Evil Dead. This is one of those, it's the best horror franchise. It is the most consistently good horror franchise where even if you don't like one like as much as some of the other ones, I feel like there is at least two movies in the Evil Dead franchise that any given horror fan will go absolutely bug shit crazy for. I loved Rise, and we're getting another new talent thrown onto this. He made that weird spider horror movie that freaked the
Oh,
fuck out of people. Yeah, 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 yeah.
oh,
When
that's exciting.
a movie that I can't watch because I have crippling arachnophobia, but I'm like, I would love to see what he does with Evil Dead. That seems cool.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead Burn is the hardest movie title I've ever fucking heard. So yeah, cool, awesome. I can't wait to give way more of a shit about the release week for that than the similar following Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I'm look, it's just so
Again,
impossible for me
I'm
to
too
look
old to
forward to
care.
anything Spider-Man related that is not across the Spider-Verse. Like I like or beyond the Spider-Verse rather. Like I that's the only thing I care about right
I
now.
forgot this was even coming out because they've been too busy teasing the new Avengers
Doomsday.
movie. So
Doomsday is
I
like
forgot that was even coming out.
I've been talking about Doomsday with some of the guys, and we've been like, okay, who's blinking first? Is it that or Dune 3? Like, who is actually going to be like, because they can't release on the same day. Like, there's going to be one executive for that company who's going to be like, well, this is too big of a risk. Like,
Yeah,
it's
one
just,
of
we
them is
can't do
going to
this.
chicken out.
And like, frankly,
Mhm.
there's a part of me that's like, obviously, I'm looking forward to Dune 3 more, but part of me wants to believe that Dune 3 can be more successful. I don't, that's not possible, but part of me wants to believe that it is. Just because I feel like Doomsday feels like everything we found out about that movie feels like it's going to be a train wreck. Like an actual not good movie is legitimately possible with this. Like, because you can feel whatever you want about Infinity War and Endgame. I don't even like Infinity War, for instance, but like those movies are like solid. Like they're okay for what they are. They're built
Yeah,
well. This seems like it's going to be a fucking mess. I don't know how critically this is going to
I was going to
to
say
hold up.
I'm honestly more interested in seeing how Doomsday plays out than I am Spider-Man 4 just because like I know
Spider-Man
what
4
you
will probably
do.
do better than Doomsday. If I
It
had to
probably
put money on it.
will. It probably
Like
will just because like they're relying
Far
on
From
the
Home
whole
fucking destroyed the box office.
they're relying on like nostalgia for a whole generation of movies that people already have like rested feelings about by bringing back all the X-Men, while also this is the time where they're going to have to prove that this new cast of characters that they've put together was worth investing in, aside from getting back, some of the OGs like Evans, Hemsworth, Hiddleston, like
I
some of those guys are coming back. But at some point, we have to accept the fact that Anthony Mackie cannot lead this franchise.
can like is it kind of a sunk cost fallacy thing where people like I don't know. And perhaps I am underestimating the lax attitude a lot of people who aren't overly invested in the arts treat the arts. I don't I have trouble conjuring up the hypothetical person in my head who is legitimately excited for Doomsday. I don't know how you, as a human being who has witnessed the last 20 years of pop culture, culminate in this moment and be like, yeah, I'm earnestly excited for this to
This is
happen.
what we needed.
Like, why? Like, act like if I was invested in Marvel, I would be like, oh, so Endgame doesn't matter then. Like, all of the things that are like consequential about this universe just they don't matter because you just want to keep making money. And I know that that sounds very like it's such a general like oh corporations bad kind of thing, but like truly, it's like still giving a shit about Star Wars. I'm just like,
What are we
why?
doing? Why are we
Why do
here?
you care?
We are so
Like
far removed from anything that
and
made this appealing to me.
and in order to understand the gravity of our apathy here, we were two people raised and cultivated in this landscape. I
Yeah,
was someone,
we're from the like micro generation where we were like I was about to graduate high school when Infinity War came out. I
yes,
saw Infinity War in the theater opening weekend, the day of my
I did too.
senior prom. This was
Wow.
important to me, man. I
It's
went to the matinee with all my friends that I was going to prom with. We went to prom, then we went to Pizza Hut and talked about the movie the whole time afterwards. That movie came into my life at a definitive moment, and I could not give less of a shit about
and
what they're doing with this now.
I'm in that perfect little generation of people who basically was like, not only was I raised by Star Wars, prequels included, I was also raised on the Red Letter Media videos about the fucking prequels. And man, like, I was in it. I was an enormous Star Wars fan, and I don't give a fuck anymore, man. So like, there's the argument of just like, oh, well, I'm just a big fan of this. It's just like, dude, there's maybe like of the top 1%, there is 1% of that 1% who could legitimately testify to being a bigger Star Wars fan than I. And I am burned. Like the Mandalorian and Grogu, I may not ever watch that film. I don't care. I don't care. Why would I? Why have I been given a reason to care about anything Star Wars related that is not Andor? Please tell me.
Last one that I want to make sure that we shout out coming out on Christmas Day, the new
Mm.
Robert Eggers jaunt, Werewolf, starring
Werewolf.
Aaron Taylor. Pretty much the whole cast from Nosferatu is back in this one because it's Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe, Lily Rose Depp, and Ralph Ineson. So getting the gang back together.
Eggers' quest to single-handedly rehabilitate the entire classic movie monster cinematic universe under his own name continues to be cool and interesting and successful.
I found
Very, very pro Eggers in all contexts. Also, very much looking forward to his A Christmas Carol adaptation because people undervalue how fucking amazing that novel is, and I have a feeling that it will be really, really cool. So.
as somebody, even me, somebody who is a little bit underwhelmed by Nosferatu, like
Yeah,
him
that's my
just
least
doing
favorite Eggers project thus far.
him just doing a straightforward monster movie in his own little way again instead of doing an adaptation is more interesting to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're
Just like
also, I
draw
mean,
all that unique energy into something. It doesn't even have to be all that original, but when you
no,
bring all those unique formal instincts to something like this, I'm gonna be interested, right?
I
He's
am
a guy who has widened the current day cinema goers' acceptance rate for what movies are even allowed to be with the success of movies like Nosferatu and with the like cult success of stuff like The Witch.
completely agree. He's a guy too who like Nosferatu's where I bottom out with him, but it's really just because it's such an honest adaptation of the source material that there's not room for a lot of the Eggers isms that I appreciate so much in his other films.
Yeah,
And it's like
to
I
me, the most disappointing thing about that movie is that it was exactly what I was expecting, which is it is the story of Nosferatu and it looks like a Robert Eggers movie and moves like a Robert
which
Eggers movie. I
it
just
kind of
needed a
feels
little bit of a nugget. Like, give me something. The
it feels like
dryness of like
he and
hurts,
Del Toro are kind of
compare
in the
that to a
same spot
guy.
right now, you
Yeah,
know? Like
yeah.
I still haven't seen Frankenstein, but my worry with Del Toro far more than Eggers really is that it feels like Del Toro is painting himself into a creative corner where he's gradually like with every project it feels like he's starting to make a different version of the same movie every single time. Like the fact that there's been heavy talk around him making a Phantom of the Opera adaptation, I'm just like, "Oh, we don't." I can see that movie in my head right now, all 2.5 hours of it, and I feel like I just do something else. Do
Yeah, like
your
I don't want that. Take
no,
that take that vision and apply it to something different, something new. Give me another Shape of Water, please, for the love of God. I
like
think that movie is so fascinating. I love that movie to death.
it feels like that's sort of something where it's like that's him doing classic movie monster stuff, but Shape of Water feels very consciously deconstructive in a way that he kind of feels like he's not necessarily interested in doing again. And that's the only real reason I'm interested in that being redone at all. So, like, again, unless there is a
Frankenstein.
fundamental shift in him being like, oh, but the Phantom of the Opera, but X, like, unless we get that, I don't really, and I love Guillermo. I do. I think he's a great creative. I love Pan's Labyrinth so much, and I'm a huge Dark Horse defender of Nightmare Alley. But like he runs the risk of potentially, I hate to say it because it's definitely not to this extent, and he's far superior of a filmmaker, but he runs the risk of Burtonizing himself,
I was
where he
thinking the
just
exact same thing. Like he's gonna become 2010's Tim Burton if he keeps up this streak.
if Del Toro ever made a movie like Alice in Wonderland, I think I would have to take myself out like Old Yeller.
I The thing
Like
is,
that's I
looking back. I have many positive feelings about the movie, but Frankenstein is not that incomparable in terms
I
of like the kind of cultural conversation it's trying to engage in, where it's just like yes, it is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It is exactly what you expect. Frankly, he doesn't suit the material extremely well in that
and
case.
I have a lot of feelings wrapped up in the novel Frankenstein as well. Like, like Mary Shelley's book is like I put that on a pretty fucking high pedestal also as just a bravura example of incredible science fiction.
Like so much
But
of the thorniness of the thought experiment of Frankenstein being what it is lessened when he takes his big mallet that says love the monster and keeps hitting the narrative with it.
yeah,
Like
it's
the creature is just not as interesting when he doesn't get a little bit red pilled in the second half of the narrative like he's supposed to. And in Guillermo's version, he doesn't. Like
yeah,
for
I'll have to
example,
see how I feel
to talk
about
about one particular
Frankenstein
element
once
of
I
the movie,
get to
like
it.
him wanting a wife, like a moment in the novel that for me represents like the world kind of corrupting what was initially a
Yep.
pure vision of this thing. In Guillermo's version, that is treated as basically reparations.
Oh.
Because the creature is a little small being who could do no wrong.
So you got to give him a reward for being a small bean who could do no wrong.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's and I all my love to Guillermo. Do whatever you want and all that stuff, but thankfully we have so many voices in modern horror right now. Like for example, we kind of mentioned it, but later this year we are also getting uh um Resident Evil, which
Sure, I wish Kreger
yeah,
was doing something else, but it's interesting. I'll take it.
yeah. I'm in for a fun ass weird fucking movie. We're also getting a fourth Terrifier movie. I think those movies are really interesting. They don't do a whole lot for me, but one thing I can say about them is that you watch them, and no matter how you feel about them, you're like, man, people who made this loved making this. And at the end of the day, that's really the most important thing in filmmaking is just if you feel the passion, cool. So, you know
I've
what? I'm
I've
glad that those movies are successful. Good.
I've put off watching them for years, frankly, just because I'm scared I'm not gonna like them and I don't want to be a pissant about it. But
Yeah, I felt similarly, but when we like zoomed them, like to the first two, I think, and I was just like, these aren't for me. But I like their spirit. I like their chutzpah. They've got a quality about them. Uh, oh yeah, we have. I think my least favorite movie title of the year, The Social Reckoning, the sequel to The Social Network,
the
which will be
social
written
reckoning.
yeah, which will be written by Sorkin. I don't remember who it's going to be directed by, but we've got Jeremy Strong,
Oh,
who I
it's
think is,
directed by Sorkin as well.
which, like, Sorkin's one of those guys, kind of like Joss Whedon, who I feel like there's like they have committed many sins, but it has caused people to like reevaluate some of the stuff that they've made in a way I feel is genuinely a little bit too harsh. Like, yeah, the Social Network screenplay is a little bit overwritten. It also really, really, really needs to be. That movie's great. I don't I, like. I'm not. I can't do this was actually bad all along. Like that movie gets better with every
Yeah,
year,
you're kidding
whatever.
yourself.
But like Aaron Sorkin written, Aaron Sorkin directed. Mm, that's a little
Flirting versus
less.
harassment.
Yes, 100% the meme. It's the meme.
Sorkin really
We're
does. I mean, that's the thing, is that Sorkin does need somebody who will keep his instincts on a little bit of a leash because Fincher will, a guy like Fincher will cut around what doesn't work about a Sorkin script, and Sorkin will not do that. I know this.
no, no,
I
no,
know
no, no,
this
no.
because I've seen Molly's Game.
It also I fear like we forget that there was that story about the Social Network about how like the screenplay was so long they needed to talk faster to make the movie shorter. This movie's probably gonna be 3 fucking hours long. Like it's gonna be fucking long. So whatever. I feel no real way about it. We're also getting
It's Mikey Madison's first big lead role post Oscar, so this could be. We
good
might
for
be
her.
talking about this movie all year.
We could
Um,
be. We could be. We are also getting The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. I don't know what the
I'm
hell.
I'm too
Like,
old for this. I'm too old for
I
this.
it's gonna
As
be
somebody who just watched the original show not too long ago, I'm too
for
old
the
for
first
this.
time.
Yeah, for the well, I had seen like bits and pieces of it, but I had never
Right,
like gone through the whole thing. So I
right.
did that. I don't need this, man.
Like the only things we know about it are, we've got the main voice cast for the adult version because it's taking place between the end of Avatar and the beginning of Korra, and the film's villain is being played by Dave Bautista. That's like literally all we know. This could be neat, I guess. I mean, again, remains to be seen. I know that just because the
I'm firmly in the
original,
camp of like happy for you if it's good.
yeah,
I
I
don't
I
really
will be
need this
interested
though.
in this if people say that it's good. That is purely like if people are like, "Yeah, this is great." I'll be like, "Cool, I'll go see it." If people are like, "Yeah, whatever." I'll be like, "I'll catch it on VOD maybe." So, could be something. I have absolutely no idea. The last thing I want to mention is that this doesn't sound notable at all, but to me, I still think that like there's a chance here for something mildly interesting, and it is the fact that we are getting that Street Fighter movie. And I know you're thinking, why do you even give a shit about a video game movie? Have you seen this movie's cast?
Yeah, I have actually.
I take a look at that cast and I'm like,
They don't make movies like that anymore. They don't make video game adaptations like that anymore. Compare this to
no.
the cast of the Mortal Kombat movies. This is a new level of weird
Like
Hollywood trash that I'm kind of excited to see how it plays out.
it it feels like this is at least a movie whose casting director loves Street Fighter because we're getting like all of these characters and like play like we've got wrestlers aplenty in here. We've got Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are both in this, which is already like actually like wait a minute, that actually feels like that's a good that's a good way to incorporate the whole martial arts thing into what you're doing. So that's cool. We have David Dastmalchian as M. Bison,
That's a
which is
good. They're
based.
clear. They're clearly chasing the like Raul Julia of it all, and so
Oh,
I
for
hope that that shines
and
through.
you know, I hope it's like the Street Fighter movie, which is not good, but like tell me you sit down and watch that movie and have a drink and don't have a good time. Please. Tell me it doesn't, because Raul Julia in that movie is like one of the greatest performances in a children's movie like ever. He's eating the whole movie. It's great. But we've
Orville
also got
Peck.
people
Orville
like
Peck as Vega is such a weird choice, and I can't wait to see how that plays out.
fucking Eric Andre as Don Savage. Are you fucking kidding me, man? 50 Cent as Balrog? What?
They're trying. See, that's the thing though, is I see this cast list and I'm like, somebody is gonna try something if this
This
is the
is the
result of like
90s.
the casting process. Somebody's doing something.
And Hiroyuki Goto as E Honda, like we're kind of cooking with this cast. So you know what? I will remain cautiously optimistic for something that I don't have faith will be legitimately good, but has the chance to be fun in a kind of 90s throwback sort of way. So
Yeah.
movie slate for this year, we got a little bit of everything. A lot of interesting things, a lot of things that literally we couldn't be bothered to care about, a lot of things that might be good, might be bad, and a lot of things that look like they might be total dog shit.
I
So,
have one more that I want to shout
ooh,
out for you in this
go for
particular
it.
segment. New M. Night Shyamalan toward the end of October. Remain, it's called. Um, this is the one that has the Nicholas Sparks screenplay credit on it, which I think will be interesting. But I
Oh,
don't know anything about what this one is about. I just know that Jake Gyllenhaal's the lead. But you know me. I'm a
really?
big, you know me, I'm a big Shyamalan head. So I'm
You
there.
are. And I am definitely not a big Shyamalan head, though I am very firmly in, like, I am a Shyamalan agnostic, which at this point may as well be a fan. And that
Say you lean more pro
I
Shyamalan.
am pro Shyamalan in the whole. I actually haven't seen his last movie, even though I heard from a lot of people that that was pretty fun. I will give that a shot eventually.
Knock at the
Um,
Cabin was wonderful. Yeah.
no, after Knock at the Cabin, the concert one.
Trap. Oh my God,
Trap,
I
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about Trap.
Trap.
Yes. Such a fun
That's
movie. Oh my God, me and
I
Renee
need to
love
see
Trap.
that. But I that's the thing with Shyamalan is that he's the kind of guy who's like, even if I don't like his movies, I am always very happy he's making them. The fact that he is a existing successful force in film is a good thing for the health of the medium. So I will be here for that shit.
Trap is like I'm trying to think of a comparable movie, but Trap is interesting because it's like he's doing a parody of himself,
Hmm.
but it wraps around to just being a really fun, entertaining,
I
titillating movie.
I heard
It's
someone
kind of like
say
his North by Northwest in a way.
I've heard somebody say call it his Snake Eyes, the De Palma movie, which I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
first of all, Snake Eyes,
I've
deeply underrated De Palma
I've
movie that I
seen that
love.
comparison floated around as well, and I like that comparison as well. But I think it's more his like North by Northwest, which is just let's make a really silly movie that is
Hmm.
taking itself incredibly seriously and do my little directorial flares that I know sometimes annoy people to an even
But I don't
greater
care.
extent than I normally do them, and I don't care. It ends up being a really fun time.
And Gyllenhaal, there was a
Gyllenhaal's a
time.
great pick for a Shyamalan lead to the point
Yes,
that I'm
he is.
surprised he hasn't done it before.
Shyamalan feels like the type of dude who would have nabbed Gyllenhaal when he was like a baby, like for fucking like Signs or something, you know?
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Gyllenhaal is that I would have told you he was my favorite working actor for like a solid 10 years, maybe in the 2010s.
I say I would have
I
told you
like
that in like 2015. I would have told you that.
I can't really remember the last time I thought he was notable in something. Like this decade for him has been like a total wash. Like, dude, what is he even doing? Like,
He did
it really feels like he was positioning himself as like the next Daniel Day-Lewis in the 2010s and then promptly disappeared.
the last thing I even saw him in was Ambulance. I thought that movie was okay. He's good in it. He's good in it, but
Yeah.
it's nowhere near any of the caliber of like the people
Like
that he was working with and the stories he was getting involved
where's his
in.
next prisoner's turn, you know? Like why are you doing the fucking Roadhouse reboot? What are you doing, dude? What do we have what's happening here?
He must have gotten a divorce and decided he wanted to do a movie like that. I don't
He
fucking
does
know.
radiate divorced dad now. Like he's just doing divorced dad movies, which is a
Well,
shame.
he's also going to be in The Bride, so we're going to see him a couple times this year.
It's of course the only worthwhile thing he's done in the last few years is because his debatably as talented sister has dragged him into it. So, I mean, that's we got lots to look forward to in the future.
Yes.
We got lots to look forward to. And to round out the mediums, we've got gaming this year, which looks to be fairly interesting. Like one of the things I find fascinating is the fact that this month in January, we're getting the release of Pathologic 3. I don't know if you know
Ooh.
anything about the Pathologic
I've
games.
never played Pathologic, but I know enough about like Pathologic 2 to know that it's weird stuff.
They are it's like a video essay ass series of games where you kind of have to look up what they're about to understand them. And like I know about Pathologic 2 because of the H Bomber Guy video. And like I didn't know that those games were even like still being made. I thought that they were just kind of like PC relics that people had discovered because they were made by like some obscure like Belarusian fucking developer that nobody knows about anymore. But like
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this is received, or because like these are games that are so antagonistic in ways that games are afraid to be in a popular commercial sense, that it's like, which is weird because we've kind of been seeing a wave in the gaming sphere of like the fact that Dark Souls has been so commercially successful. I know people are kind of like sick of it in the popular scene to like and using Dark Souls as critical shorthand. The fact that Dark Souls is critically successful is one of the things that is like making me have faith in humanity, because those games are so fucking unearthly difficult that you actually have to commit time, effort, and patience and like exercise part of yourself to be able to beat them. And I'm like, oh, so we do have attention spans still. Like we give a fuck about these types of things when people put a lot of effort and money into them. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. So what does Pathologic 3 look like in a world that is dominated by, Fortnite and that. Like what I it really, really could be anything. I'm very curious to see how that plays out, but we're also getting we're getting the port of Animal Crossing New Horizons to the Switch 2. I might actually take a crack at that now that I have a Switch 2
I was gonna say it's
got
getting a
that for
big
Christmas.
update to go with that as well,
It's basically a new game.
which is probably gonna make me jump back in.
Gotta
I
get
haven't played
I
that game in
just got
years, but I do like New Horizons quite a bit.
I haven't played an Animal Crossing game dedicatedly in a while just because I know it will like destroy my soul, but I got the decal for my Switch and it's got all the galaxy color on it now. It's pretty dope. It's pretty sick. Pretty cool. I will check that out if I have the time. But also we have, let's see. We have the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade being ported to the Switch 2 as well, which I will finally be able to play the second chapter of. And I don't know if that third game is going to be out this year or next year, but it will be out relatively soon, and
You've got
that
to get
should be
on that
interesting.
Final Fantasy Tactics remake that's out.
Oh yeah,
As I know
the
you're a big tactics guy.
I'm the biggest Final Fantasy Tactics head you will ever meet, and the remake looks to be really great. It is a technically it was remade before for the PSP in a version called Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions, which that's the base game for this, but they've updated it to have both the cutscenes that were introduced in that game and the voice acting. So, and the voice acting is quite good too. So if y'all need to get on, like if you
They're
want to brush up
also
on a classic.
including Let's say they're also including a port of the original game in like when you buy the remake, you get a
Mhm.
copy of the original game just
Which
in the files.
so great of a practice. Like that was one of the awesome things about getting my Switch 2 is that it upgraded the Switch 1 copy of Hades that I had to the Switch 2 version for free. And I was like, "Oh, did the same thing with Skyrim and the restoration of it." And I was like, "All right, fucking more people need to be doing this shit." Like I really I like this and I happily paid $10 to get the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom as well, just because I wanted the better performance and better everything. So
Yeah.
that cool, good business practice. Keep that shit up. We're also getting the Switch port of Dispatch is coming, which I really want to play just because a lot of people have been talking about it, and I want to develop my opinion on it just because I know there's a lot of people who are interesting who I like who are involved in the making of that game. Really interesting cast. I believe Aaron Paul is the main
Yeah,
guy
Aaron Paul's the
in
lead.
that.
I played the game. I like the game quite a bit.
And like
It's a very
is it
nice
very
like
I've heard it's kind of Telltale adjacent?
it's made by some old Telltale guys actually. It's made by
Right.
guys that did The Wolf Among Us specifically.
Okay. Cool.
And here's my thing with it. It's the
Mhm.
most I've ever liked anything that I would readily describe as millennial squee to the nth degree.
Gotcha. I
Every
felt
episode starts with
that.
a Critical Role logo because they also put a bunch of money into the game. And this reads like a story that the Critical Role guys would
Well,
make up that's very fan servicey, but also very well done and very serviceable. So
I
I can't be
believe
too
that it was
mad at it.
originally pitched as a television show by those Critical Role guys, but they could just never get it made. And this was
Yeah,
like the
and a
only
bunch of
way they
them
could
are
do
in
it.
it as some of the main cast members, like Mercer's in it. A couple of the
Love
other
me some
cast
Matthew
members
Mercer.
of Critical Role are in the game as well.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm more positive on it than anything else. It just normally has things that keep me at bay that I'm just
Yeah.
not as interested in long form storytelling, like Critical Role itself. I'm just like ah ah ah. Not
Hit and
interesting enough
miss.
to commit to the bit. But this is like, it's
Yeah.
like a 20-hour narrative game. I can't be that mad at it.
No, no, no. We also have on the dock, we have the third Neo game. Neo being one of the very successful entries in the kind of Dark Souls, but not offshoots of series. I know a lot of people who really love the Neo games, but also are subsequently like, yeah, they're great. And they make me want to take my controller and shove it into my prefrontal cortex because it's fucking hard. So that's one of those things where it's like, if I hear really good things about it, I'll probably pay a little bit more attention to it. But as is, I don't know if I have the amount of time for that like that. Big one for me personally is one of my favorite game devs in the world, indie dev and subject of Indie Game the Movie, Edmund McMillen, the creator of games such as Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac, is coming out with his new game that has been in the works for a long time because he is a small dude who works with a small team. And, they have been making content updates for The Binding of Isaac for like literally 10 fucking years. I haven't even played the most recent expansion of that fucking game yet, and it's one of my favorite games. But his new game, Mugenics, is going to come out, and Mugenics is a strategy RPG in the style of Fire Emblem where you breed cats. And you have to eugenics the cats to have different stats and passives and buffs, and it looks awesome. It looks like so much fun.
This is my first time hearing about this, and now I need it immediately.
It's coming out in February, and I am super stoked for it. Edmund McMillen is one of those guys who's like he's one of those real video game auteur voices who it's just like you see an Edmund McMillen game, you know it instantly. It's got his drawn aesthetic. It looks like Super Meat Boy. It looks like The Binding of Isaac, but he never does something similar twice. He always will move to whatever is just calling him, and I am, of course, a huge strategy RPG junkie, so naturally I'm really looking forward to that. We're also getting the new Yakuza Kiwami game, which is going to come out on basically all platforms. I'm very interested to finally actually try the Yakuza series because now I finally own a console that can play Yakuza 0 Remake. So very happy to see that that is going to be on things I can play. We're also going to be we're getting a new Rune Factory game. Harvest Moon fans, wake up. We got something for you finally. Getting the ports of Resident Evil 7 and 8 for the Switch 2 just in time for one of the biggest releases in the year being Resident
Resident Evil
Evil 9
9.
Requiem.
This might be the year. This might be the year I have to start playing Resident Evil games.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Uh,
Resident Evil 7 and 8 are my two favorite Resident Evils for very different reasons, and the Resident Evil remakes that have been coming out have been reliably so solid. Like they have it's like the survival horror guys have like woken up and realized like, oh, we have like gold on our hands that we've just been sitting on for years and done nothing with. And now finally Konami and fucking Capcom are like, oh, okay, let's get actually talented people to make these games again and get people interested.
I say
The trailer for 9 looks fucking insane.
they
I can't
remembered that
wait.
people still like Silent Hill.
What now?
They remembered that people still like Silent
Uh,
Hill and then actually tried to do something about it. I
I
haven't played the
will,
F. I
as
have no
God is my
opinion on
witness,
it, but
play Silent Hill F this year. I feel so bad for missing it in the last year just because, again, it's like a good Silent Hill game got made that's not a remake. Oh my God, this literally hasn't happened in 15 years. Holy shit. So I'll get to that when I get to that, but I'll probably be playing through the Resident Evil series for a good couple of months here. But we are also getting, of all things, a game presented by one Mr. John Carpenter in the form of John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
oh
I
yeah,
have
I've heard
no
about this.
clue what the fuck this is gonna be, but boy, am I interested because the only thing John Carpenter has been interested in doing the last 20 years, other than making soundtracks for movies that he gets a paycheck for, is video games. So the idea of him getting involved in a video game is very interesting to me. So we're getting a new Dynasty Warriors game, a new Monster Hunter Stories game, which I haven't really tried just because I'm more of a Monster Hunter primary person, but I might check that out just because. We're also getting an Invincible fighting game that is coming out in April, on top of the fact that
Eh,
we're also getting a very interesting looking Avatar fighting game that's coming out this year that looks to be made by people who I think were people who made Street Fighter 4 back in the day. And like it looks really promising. Like the people who've played the demo for this game are like, no, this is potentially major stuff. There's some really cool mechanics going on in this game, and it really looks like they're putting their best foot forward, and the visual style of it is gorgeous. So very much looking forward to that. It's supposed to have like a summer vague release date right now, but
okay,
hopefully we get
we'll
something
see.
more definitive.
I'm a bit of a fighting game junkie, so if either of these games
Really?
are good, I will be happy.
I didn't know you were a fighting game person. Interesting.
It's
Hmm.
smidge.
I'm really interested in fighting games these days. I'm just not really sure how good I am at them, but whatever. Biggest slated release of the year, unfortunately, is one that I'm really just not all that interested in, that being Grand Theft Auto 6 is slated to come out in November right now, which, it could get delayed
Sure.
again, who knows, but I've just never been a Grand Theft Auto person.
Yeah, I know you haven't been. I'm interested to see how that game is going to turn out, just because I mean,
If it's
orders of
$100,
magnitude.
I certainly won't be buying it anytime in the near future.
Orders of magnitude, the likes of which we've never seen, are going to drive this game into
Oh
pop
yeah.
culture if things go the way that I think they're going to go. I really don't see like I hate being such an infinite growth person, but I really don't see a reason why this game won't do well and won't
Oh
start
yeah.
interesting conversations. So, hey, let's see.
I'm totally down for it being something that surprises me, but I'm just sort of remaining in limbo with it until I hear something from somebody reliable. Less definitive release dates, but still confirmed releases. This year we've got, oh goodness, lots and lots and lots of stuff. Yeah, Avatar Legends is the name of the fighting game that I was talking about earlier, which again is supposed to come out this sometime this summer. We've also got the sequel to Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Bloodstained, The Scarlet Engagement will be coming out. I hope that's good. I'm a really big Castlevania guy, and I really like Iga as a game designer. So hopefully that is really good. I hope that visually it's a little nicer than the first Bloodstained, which visually I kind of think is a little bit ugly. But other than that, fun game. We have the incredibly curious case of, I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but do you know anything about the Bubsy 4D game? Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's 2026 and you're asking me if I know that Bubsy is relevant? No.
That's the bit, is that people are just like, why? Why are we doing this exactly? Because like they tried to do this where they made like a new Bubsy and they were just like, haha, it's a bad game series and we're gonna make another game in it, and it was bad. So it's like
Why are we
I don't know what their
here?
plan was there,
Why am I
but
here?
I truly, what, like
Like,
honestly,
okay,
what? I have
Astrobot
absolutely no
proved
clue.
that you can still make fun 3D platformers with original visions. I don't know why we keep having to do this whole like Mario is the only 3D platformer we're allowed to have anymore. Like people are
I
allowed to
I
make
I miss them.
platformers.
I do. Like that's why
People are allowed to
Astrobot did
make
so
new
well.
platformers.
Yeah, like again, and the problem with Astrobot is that it was way too obsessed with existing 3D platformers that it was constantly paying homage to. It's like I would like a new one that does like new things, please. That would be awesome, I guess. We're getting a new Danganronpa game. Shout out Davey, I guess.
Should I say,
Um,
sure, I've never cared about Danganronpa.
I, there is not a single like I'm probably on the whole more of like an anime oriented person than you are, just not even by that much, just generally speaking. And the Danganronpa series is too anime pilled for me. Like
As you
it's a
may have
bit,
already eaten.
it's too tropey. It's too like, we have a character exist to fulfill a specific fetish and literally no other reason. Like, oh, this character is that he wants to fuck his sister, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm really good, actually. I'm pass, hard pass. Um, we are getting the Switch 2 version of Elden Ring, so I hope that that port is good because it would be nice to be able to finish that game on a console that I regularly play a little bit more. Um, Biggest thing of the year for me, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave will be coming out at the start of, I think, March or April, or that's typically when they release Fire Emblem
Is
games
this just
anyway.
like
Um,
it's another Fire Emblem?
I don't really know like if this game has much of a like I know that we've got the trailer for it and it looked it looked very interesting just because it looked like the game is like kind of built and structured around the idea of gladiatorial combat, which they've never really done. Like there is a stage in Fire Emblem Awakening that was like in a gladiator arena, but it was because the story was in that one level. So the idea of like making that like the game and like potentially having like this warring contest of nations, but in like a proxy gladiatory war, like that sounds interesting to me. And the thing is, with modern Fire Emblem games, it's literally a case of the good, reliable, solid game, and then immediately followed by the incredibly safe, pandery, fan servicey game. And so we had Awakening being the good, solid all-rounder game. Fates is kind of the pandery mess, and then you have Three Houses, which is the really good, solidly built game, and then you have Engage, which is kind of the pandery mess. And, there's nothing really wrong with being a pandery mess, especially when you're Fire Emblem games. It's just that I tend to not like those as much as the more robust ones. And this looks to be like it is following in that vein. And we're also potentially supposed to get a remake of Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War, a game that was never released in America and is very old. So that is may as well be a bona fide new Fire Emblem game that we're getting. Ooh, we're getting a Switch 2 version of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I can finally play that game. Everybody said it was really, really good. As well as Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. God damn, Switch 2 really is actually getting some shit. All right.
Yeah, they've
Um,
already got some stuff on there. Like those Yakuza games are already out.
Thank God too. Like I finally get the chance to pick up on some stuff that I've been missing for a really long time of this list. Oh yeah, okay. There is of course the From Software title that is coming out for the Switch 2, The Dusk Bloods, which is
Yeah.
basically, as we've been led to believe, is the spiritual successor to Bloodborne in some respect. We know that it's kind of multiplayer oriented, but we're not sure exactly how much. I have a feeling this is probably going to be Elden Ring Night Rain Bloodborne edition, but I I just want to spend more time in a Bloodborne-ish world because Bloodborne is my baby. It is one of my five favorite video games, and it's the reason I won't sell my PlayStation 4. It's because it's the only way I can play that game because they won't remake it. Eh. But still, I hope that the Dusk Bloods is good, and I hope that it is not online only because I will simply never buy a Nintendo Switch Online membership because I just give me the fucking game. Just give me the video game.
Yeah.
Let me just download it. Let me just download the video game. God damn it. So we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, a lot of stuff that looks interesting, and we get to talk about whatever we want in the coming year. So tell us if we missed anything. Please, for the love of God, let us know just so we can look forward to it too. And of what we did talk about, what are you the most excited for? Be happy. Try to. Optimism. It's kind of
Please try
good.
to have things to look forward to this year, man.
Yes, look, it's technically an election year. We need to do what we got to do to get through the day. That's all. Just kind of commiserate. Let's play, get it, video games, watch movies, and listen to music, and do what we can, man. It can be our year, maybe. So let us know in the comments, why are you looking forward to 2026? Or if you're not, I don't know, give me an essay as to why you're not. I don't know, I'll read it. I got time. Fuck it. Actually, I don't have time. I'm reading House of Leaves right now again, so you
Yes,
diabolical
yes,
bitch.
yes.
Okay.